I gotta ask you about Bob Levy. Like Bob Levy's like the super lovable, everybody's dirty uncle or whatever you call him. And I'm still in recovery from finding out that his wife is 51. That's fucking insane. John Bonham's snare drum would get bang less in my house than her. I'll regret saying that soon. But no, she's a fucking good looking woman. But anyway, I haven't heard Bob Levy angry or seem pissed off. Apart from that, ever since that infamous time on the Howard Stern show when he was a little bit wasted, I should say. Oh, we'll get joined here by a Chad, not the Zoomark. Chad A and B is joining us here at some point. He's just signing in. So with Levy, and he lost his temper, and it was kind of hilarious and brilliant. Hello, Chad.
Wow, I'm sure everybody's just super duper excited that I'm here now. Sorry if everybody's disappointed.
Yeah, but there's no need for language like that on my show. Okay.
Hey, Hughezy, throw him out or I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, he's back. Uh-oh. There's heat.
Yeah. What is it with Chad?
Don Zimmer.
Yeah. Every fucking Chad on a podcast. Yeah, say goodbye to your orbital bone. But I gotta ask him with the Bob Levy thing. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it was like the old school Bob Levy. And even when you went on, I think it was the
Julie.
BS show or the
BS
miserable,
show,
Levy was literally looking into the camera like this, like
yeah, he was just sourpuss.
Like he was ready to go, like hearing that his hot wife had to wear a burqa. Oh, so from your perspective, as a long time like Howard Stern fan, was it kind of awesome being pulled off by Bob Levy?
It was fucking awesome, and I'll tell you why. Because I told you earlier with the chat stuff, like I kind of learned that whole environment, like everything's available for pro wrestling, like they're going to use everything for content. It kind of felt like that old Howard stuff. What was funny about the Bob Levy thing was, and I let people run with it because, like I said, I'm like, if I'm going to get out of this, I got to leave. And I just got to let people say what they want and whatever. But I will say for the 900th time, and Bob didn't hear me when I was on Shuli's show. He probably wouldn't hear me now. I was sending that because I was starting to get phone calls and notifications that all of us involved in this, the talking about other people's family things, all of us could have a world of hurt coming down on our heads, not physically, but in, broader terms. And if I could have been more specific, I would. And I wanted to let him know, hey, if you get any phone calls, because I was getting phone calls. I'm like, if you get phone calls from the people I get phone calls from, I want you to know, I don't want this to fall on you. I don't want any of this to get you in any kind of shit. I phrased it in a way where he thought it sounded like a mafia threat. And then right after I sent it, I went on the BYB podcast with Stevie. Bob was apparently texting me like, what did you mean by this? I sent him 3 more texts, which didn't get talked about, clarifying what exactly was going on. Nobody's ever read those texts. I still don't believe in reading people's private shit on the air without their permission. It clarified the whole thing. Never got brought up. Nothing. It was not a mafia threat. In fact, I even said, you guys with the mafia shit, knock it off already. But I think what I sent him was such good shit for a show that he couldn't turn it down. And once I came on and gave him the explanation, it kind of had what they call the Liberty Valance effect. The movie The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. So they're like, oh, we got this juicy text. And I'm like, guys, here's what it meant. Sorry, I phrased it wrong. Here's 3 other texts that I sent you to clarify the whole thing. And they went, yeah, that's fucking boring. Let's go with the original one. The steel toe guy threatened me. So I don't know. Part of the whole going, look, I don't want to do any of that shit anymore. That's kind of part of it. Let that legend go wherever it goes. But I know what I meant. And I said it to Shuli and I'll say it to you. If I could do it again, I go, fuck it. Let whatever happens to these people happen to these people. I don't give a shit. I'll mind my own. I'll take care of whatever's coming my way. And if these guys got to deal with it, they can deal with it on their own. I kind of made the mistake of thinking that these people who I'd been texting with and dealing with were like my friends. And I was like, well, I'd give my friend a heads up on something like this. And I found out that I was kind of just fodder for a show. And it's kind of that, finding that out and being that naive about how this game works with these guys who have been in it longer. That kind of made me, that left a sour taste in my mouth. And I went, you know what? I'm going to turn my back on this whole thing. I gotta walk away from this one because there's no win here.
Worked. It's like wrestling. You got worked.
Yeah, I got worked.
You got worked. And that's exactly what it seems like. It's a storyline.
Right. I went to one of the baby faces and I was like, look, here's what I heard might be coming towards us. I just want to warn you about it. He's like, okay. And then he goes to two heels and they both come and get you with chairs and like, you motherfucker.
But you're a wrestling fan. You should telegraph this. You should already be prepared for what's going to happen.
You should already know it. Nope, you're right. I was a complete sucker in that whole thing. And then Shuli sent me messages going, hey, buddy, I just want to straighten this whole thing up. Hey, buddy, I want you to come on the show and we'll get this, and sent me the StreamYard link and everything like that. We'll get this thing all taken care of. And you know what I was? Fuck pro wrestling. I was Tommy in Goodfellas. I just got walked into that fucking basement and it was just bam, away I go.
They handed you the NWO shirt and then they turned on you. That's right, exactly what happened.
No Goodfellas spoilers, please. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and Ray DeVito is Tommy from Goodfellas. He's the one running around smashing heads.
Is that a movie?
You know who Ray DeVito
But
is?
also, you know what's a movie? The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And a matter of fact, that's got a great theme song by Gene Pitney. If you guys will all join me in singing the song together. When Liberty Valance rode to town, the woman would step aside.
Oh, sorry. I thought I knew the words. I apologize.
He's going to have to bleep that out. He's going to have to bleep that out.
Those are the lyrics I DM'd you, and then those weren't lyrics. That was just an opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I wouldn't read DMs.
But I got El Horrible. You, of course, were at Dabblecon.
Yes.
And I heard you suck someone's dick real nice.
I did not.
Yeah. But from your perspective, when you met Levy and stuff, how was it when you met the Big L? And this is going to sound like a sneaky question about Bob because I'm a huge fan. But did you think that you were meeting, should I say, Bob Levy or Showbiz Bob?
I have to be completely honest. I didn't get too much FaceTime with Bob. The only time I got FaceTime with Bob was outside where everyone was smoking cigarettes because El Horrible is a former cigarette smoker and he likes to go out and get a nice cheap buzz from the cigarette smokers. And Bob Levy just kept calling me the Blue Blazer all night. A lot of the main comedians were very standoff-ish from El Horrible, except for Shuli was extremely nice to me. But I think they didn't quite know what to make of me. Anthony Cumia, I didn't really get too much time with him or Bob Levy, honestly. But
you had the mask on, right?
Oh,
you had the mask on the whole time?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So they,
It would have been funnier if you made an entrance like the Blue Blazer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, they want to bring you back for the next Dabblecon. If they start talking about dropping you from the fucking ceiling, let's...
How do you feel about ropes and harnesses?
Yeah,
I'm for them.
Yeah, well, you'll need 4 of them.
Yeah, they're going to be playing. I was going to say they're going to be playing this video in the lawsuit of his wrongful death. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but I haven't formally introduced anybody though. Aaron Chad down at the bottom here is, but also I think our Chad. Did you know Levy from back? Because Chad used to work for Howard Stern.
No, I never met Levy back in the day. No, and Shuli came after I was gone.
Did you ever feel? God, that went down the wrong pipe. Did you ever?
Pipe?
That's disgusting, Stevie.
Just gotta cut it out. Just cut it out from the broadcast.
The A word, really? You're going to say the A word on my show? You. But the but with the Levy and Shuley, and this is going to sound like such a dick comment because I like them both. But do you think that they, as the term is, shine people on, or do you think that they're just being themselves?
Everybody from that world comes off the same way to me. That Stern world, everybody's got kind of like an exterior shell that they got to like put you through some sort of like weird scanning mechanism to kind of like feel you out, see what they can kind of get from you to bring you into their world and then work their way around, which is why they can dissect John so well and better than anybody else, and why the Uncle Rico show is this massive hit that it is, because nobody can do it better than the guys that have been in that world.
Well, I should have talked to this guy because that's kind of what I got too. Because when he went on that rant, and then I went on to kind of explain it. The reason I went on to explain it because I was like, I've had phone conversations with this fucking guy, and we've talked about all the shit that's been going on, and he's always been remarkably reasonable. And if there's ever been anything where he needed an explanation, he's always called or texted or something like that. And so, like, for that to happen, it caught me off guard. So when I went on Shuley's show, I was under the impression that I was doing it to like, hey, we're going to smooth this out because this is just a giant fucking simple misunderstanding. There was no ill will here. I like these guys. And then for it to go down the way it did, I would like you said about the pro wrestling thing, it just felt like a couple of chairs in my back. And I'm like, wow, I was the stupid noob who didn't see it coming.
Yeah, they're masters at playing that kind of head game. But I give them credit for all the success that they've had, on both sides, podcasting, radio, comedy, they do it all. But it's just weird about that Stern world, man. I mean, these guys they've had a history of kind of getting what they want. But whatever you've been going through with these kind of politics, you can't feed into it. You got to what I've seen from being an observer of watching your show, seeing your tweets and stuff. You kind of give them what they want. Where you should kind of back off. You give them what they want, and everybody kind of runs with it.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's kind of that process now of transitioning to something different. You try to limit all that shit, but at the same time, there's just there's that. I talked about it at the beginning of the show, that fucking pulling you back in thing, and it's almost like quitting drinking or quitting a drug. Don't worry, Hughezy, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, me too. I don't the drug thing.
Yeah.
Stop.
You just kind of you got to kind of pull yourself away from it and try not to fall into the same traps over and over. It's a work in progress. But yeah, I was a mark and they took me down. Bravo.
But at the same time though, like that's what we all love about like Shuley and Levy, that they're funny as fuck, and that they'll get you when they need to get you. But like for some reason, Bob Levy thinks I'm from Liverpool. And every time he makes fun of me, it's like Paul McCartney. Hey, how's it going, Billy? Hey, you're coming on the show. But El Horrible, of course, the guy at the bottom, his name is Chad. What would Kevin Brennan say about this Chad guy here?
Oh, well, Chad's a fucking idiot. Oh, my mic was shut off. Chad's a fucking idiot.
That's not a bad Kevin Brennan.
It'd be an honor.
It's a good one.
It's a Chad, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
and also, all the people who signed up for my $3 Patreon are fucking idiots.
What do you think about Gino, El Horrible? Gino, what do you think about Gino?
Gino's a fucking idiot.
Gino doesn't sell tickets. You know what I love about Kevin Brennan? You know that if this was like the 1920s, he would be walking into a saloon with his fucking hat on sideways, like with a stopwatch in his hand, going, "Hey, baby, this gangster guy is trying to bongo me out of my scratch."
I don't know, man. I think the internet is the perfect place for Brennan because he can't go in and do shit like if he had to go in and do that in a saloon back in the 20s, he'd be fucking crushed in a minute. He'd yell at somebody's girlfriend and he'd just get fucking jacked right in the face.
Yeah. Hey, Al Capone's a fucking idiot. He doesn't sell tickets.
A fucking idiot.
Genius model. I mean,
clubs.
Every day, like the first 20 minutes, like what do we talk about? All right, well, we ran down Compound, we ran down Steel Toe for 20 minutes. We ran down Chrissy. Who else? What do we miss? Who do we need to go back to? It's genius. They do it 4 or 5 days a week now. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you look at the numbers, and somebody throws them $100. It's like, holy shit! What are they doing?
Yeah. The Compound Media people, they all got fucking scurvy. Those asshole white trash loaders. Neil's a fucking idiot. I'm gonna be doing that all night now.
I know.
But at the end of the day, I think though that you unwoken, is that the correct term? Oh no, sorry, awoke the old school anger in Bob Levy, because I was watching MLC last night, which stands for Misery Loves Company. Okay, and he went off on Gino again. Because Gino was apparently trolling Brennan, Levy in the comments, and Levy wasn't taking it. He said, "Hey, you're fucking okay," and it was awesome. This is the greatest time to be a fan.
Hey, Hughezy, what do you think of KC entering the Dabbleverse 6 months too late?
You know what?
God, somebody said it.
You know what?
Was that?
You know what? If you'd have said that to me before, I would say, yeah, it's a bad idea. But I'm just back from seeing Scream 6, which was completely unnecessary. And it's potentially the best Scream film. So maybe KC's going to reboot the Dabbleverse. And it's going to be the next generation. Make it so.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I got to say, I mean, even though he'd probably be better suited as like the best guest on everybody's show, he's going to have some of the best insight of anybody because of the role he played on the show. And who else is going to know some of the worst shit about John than KC, And I think that's now, has anybody, I don't know if you guys talked about it before I got in here. Was there any speculation as to who the herpes guy was that John was talking about in his mysterious tweets? Because was that KC? Is that who he was referring to?
I have to assume he was addressing KC.
Yeah. I thought he said her piece and he was talking about Howard Stern.
Because if it's KC, one of the names that he referenced was the was one of the ladies that I used to work for at the Stern Show. So that's why I'm very yes. The A was was Anne Marie, the one that I used to work for.
Right. See, I thought he said her piece, and he was talking about Stuttering John's daughter.
Oh, now what did we just say? What did we just say?
I'm high. I have short-term memory loss. It happens.
Yeah,
I don't know what we were saying at all. Were we saying something about that?
I love your Heather Graham and Austin Powers 2 outfit you got on. Great work.
Hey, everybody!
Taking some mushrooms, baby.
Hey, everybody! I've muted myself so Stevie can't hear me. Are you ready for me to give him a good roasting?
Well, I'm excited.
Oh yeah, we'll go back on
yourself. How would we?
Hey, Stevie, I was wondering. I was wondering. Are you high because you're so tall? Come on, give it up to me.
I'm high because Ray DeVito sold me a bag of weed before the show started, so that's.
By the way, did you hear that Ray DeVito has hired 2 guys to jump KC?
Ow!
I heard that.
Quick. Jesus!
Did you hear that, El Horrible?
I did. I heard that on my sidekick 2 that I use.
But by the way, just before we move on to the final topic, because I'm going to let it snow, Chad, before you came on, we were talking about your namesake, Chad.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm not Mr. Poopy Pants as you thought. I roasted you. Do you have any questions for Aaron or whatever about the Zumark situation?
Are you the organizer of the beatdown? That would be the main question.
I did say at the beginning of this interview, and I'll repeat it for you, that I did. It was me, and I gave it away when I said Anthony Cumia sends his regards. It was Roose Bolton. Everyone thought it was a Godfather thing. It wasn't. It was Game of Thrones.
Okay. No horse heads mailed this morning anywhere?
No.
Nothing?
I said Kevin Brennan's the greatest piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had him all over the world.
Okay. All right. That was really all I guess I'd have on the Chad topic. I mean, it's a hell of a beatdown for sure.
Yeah.
Back to the pro wrestling world. Those were some mud hole stomps on his damn eye, without a shadow of a doubt.
You know the one thing I do find weird, because I seen somebody saying, "Oh, they mustn't have sent him to the hospital." But what I do find weird is that when he came back home, he still had like dry blood and dirt on his face. Like, you think that those poor nurses would clean it because that's their fucking job after they made him some dinner. But I also think that I think it's weird that like he's clearly got a broken orbital bone. So those dumb fucking doctors should have maybe kept him in overnight and taken care of his.
I mean, are we just taking his, again, this is a guy who's lied about a lot of shit. We really taking his word that he went to the hospital? I mean, there's a lot of taking a guy's word who really doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, maybe he got into a tough man competition with Butterbean. That could have happened. We don't know.
Why was Amy Schumer in Florida? Roast.
He said Butterbean, not Butterball. Oh,
you got guys on Twitter like Zero Dark Tony. They're like, yeah, here in Florida, we've got sunshine laws. And I looked and there's been no police reports filed, nothing like that. No hospitals, this and that. I don't know. Remember a couple of months ago, the car accident and the really bad acting with the shoulder and the neck. I mean, I'm not out of line here. By saying
so
was no.
So we're clearing you. We're clearing you here and now. That's it. You're cleared.
Me personally.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I wish I had a baseball bat and some face paint for this one. The one thing that's for sure about Steel Toe is nothing's for sure. Woo!
I just want to be the one on the clip that asked you that. So when Hughezy posted, I just want to be the one who
asked
got the.
Him that? What are you from the hood? You
fucking
scumbag.
Goody two shoes over here.
Yeah.
Couldn't even back me up with a goddamn Zimmer versus Pedro argument, could you?
Well, hey, Stevie, this is the longest I've got to be on a show with you, so it's all right.
Everyone knows that's the Zimmer thing. It's not the Pedro thing. It's Zimmer is the old man who rolled around on the ground like a piggy. That's the funny part of it, and that's what everyone knows it as.
Yeah, everybody remembers the Zimmer thing, but I think if you're all right, never mind. I'm stopping.
I even got outside help. I even asked a former Major League Baseball player, and they did back up that it is the Don Zimmer incident. So
yeah, Stevie.
Listen, we all know Lenny Dykstra. All right, he was just Kevin Brennan.
It wasn't Lenny because he'd probably still be on the phone right now talking if it was Lenny.
Yeah. What a great episode. El Horrible, you were saying something with that beautiful voice of yours?
Yes, earlier you guys said that someone said that there is video of the incident now.
Chad on his live stream today, he did an emergency Kumia Cucks, as we all love and know that show to be brilliant work. Yeah, he had a stream today where he says that apparently his big tease by the end of the show, he announced that he received a phone call from the detectives that are working on the case, and they do have some sort of Ring doorknob footage of something. He doesn't know exactly what. And he said he's
apartment complex. Like
but
what
he said he was walking. Complex? He was going. So he was going on what he calls his Tuesday Takes, which is where he walks around on Instagram Live. He's going to rename it Tuesday Takes a Beating from now on, I was told, but nonetheless, he goes and walks through his neighborhood and goes outside of the gated community. It's beautiful down in Southern Florida, especially this time of year. He did have a nice thing going for himself. It sounds like he says he's got to move, but I don't understand how he's going to do that, because in order to like not live in a friend's apartment, you know what I mean, without having a lease, because I'm sure as shit he don't have no fucking lease with that guy over there, Gladwell Ape. He's gonna have to like prove income and show personal gaining opportunities and stuff, which he doesn't have in order to get his own place.
A background check, yeah,
and a background check, you know what I mean. So I'm pretty sure he's kind of shot himself in the foot here, and he's kind of stuck in that spot now. I hope to God that this is all that was gonna. I'm just knocking on wood over here. This is all that was ever going to happen to him, and I'm fucking shocked and appalled that it did happen to him at all. But let's hope and pray that he doesn't need to move, and that, as a matter of fact, I'd like to offer up my Stevie Lou security services to Chad Zumock pro bono. All All right. If you want, you can fly me down there. If you guys fly me down there, I'll stay around and make sure, because it's going to take more than 2 guys to take me down. That's for fucking sure. So if Chad needs my help, I want to extend an olive branch and say, I'm here for you, pal.
Oh yeah,
Unless one of those guys is Big A in his studio.
yeah, yeah. And it's Stevie, if you're so tough, how come you have nightmares about this?
Oh, wait, no.
That does look like a boxing picture straight out of 1897.
Yeah, effing